and welcome to Atheist Viewpoint. I'm David Silverman.
And I'm Dennis Horvitz.
And today we have a very good show in store for you. We're going to talk about Halloween, the evil of Halloween.
Yes.
Woo! We've got our special pumpkin up here to start things off. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Yeah, it's not going to be there for the whole show, but that's the beginning of a video that we're going to show talking about the preachers who hate Halloween. They hate it because...
I thought that picture was of me at the on Saturday night of the last Atheist convention.
It is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I posted
Isn't that you?
Okay, yeah.
Isn't that you?
Okay.
You know, it's always... When I was a kid, there was no Christian resistance or howling about Halloween at all. We all went out, we all celebrated, and really what's happened recently is that Christians have made this a bad holiday.
Well, some Christians.
Yes, some Christians, and really it's the crazy Christians. And there's, you know, I wanted to just do a show today about why that is and how it is, and maybe we could discuss how it came to be that way. All right, because the thing about Halloween, as far as I can tell, that the reason that Halloween exists, that it is hated so much, Halloween is the only holiday that's celebrated in America that has roots outside of Christianity, that in another religion outside of Christianity, that has not been usurped by Christianity.
Well,
okay, they tried to usurp it with All Saints' Day. They tried to usurp it by making it religious, but they failed.
Well, yeah, because it's taken on a life of its own.
If you look at like 4th of July, that has no religious significance at all. New Year's Eve has no religious significance. Christmas is obviously a Christian holiday. Easter is obviously a Christian holiday. Thanksgiving is arguably, you can make it look Christian.
Right.
Okay? And you can make it, you know, there's...
It's ripe for takeover.
Well, Thanksgiving, what are you giving thanks to? You know, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving in one of our future shows. But, you know, they could make it seem religious. But when you're looking at Halloween, it is most definitely not a Christian holiday like Christmas.
Right.
But it has not been usurped by Christianity like Christmas.
Well, you know, the thing is, but you mentioned All Saints' Day, and I think what's happened is that with the commercialization of it, you know, in the United States, what was probably a usurped Christian holiday has basically escaped. Yeah, it's they can't control its, you know, it's the celebration of it, the implementation of it, and it's gotten away. But nobody, but except for a certain group of biblical literalists and fundamentalists, basically nobody cares. I mean, I think I've said for years that I think it's possible to believe in a religion, to have religion and be an adult at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I think for the adults who have children, you know, of Christian faith or Jewish faith, which of course doesn't have All Saints' Day, it's just a fun time for the kids. For most, you know, it's
a fun holiday.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a fun holiday that used to be a pagan holiday,
right? But
now it's a secular holiday. But it is now.
Yeah, it is a secular holiday.
It's a secular
absolutely,
holiday.
Absolutely.
You can be any religion or a complete atheist and celebrate Halloween without religious problems.
I bet if you ask the average person what does the word Halloween mean, they probably wouldn't even know.
No, they wouldn't. It's not relevant. It's the name of the holiday, you know. And that, I believe, is the driving force behind the fundamentalists' hatred of Halloween, because it hasn't been usurped, and it's from another holiday. It's from another religion. It gives legitimacy to the pagan roots of the American holiday system.
I can accept that as long as you don't discard the genuine ignorance and superstition that goes along with the hatred to it.
You can't discard the genuine ignorance.
I mean, one goes along with the other. You can't. I mean, these people. I mean, there are some people who. Granted, I think there are people who are behind a small group of people behind this the evangelist movement, who are kind of cynical and are deliberately manipulating. But you have to allow for a certain amount of sincerity, and by that I mean genuine superstition and ignorance.
Yeah, genuine.
If not in the leadership, certainly in the laity.
Well, how often can you say that? You can say that all the time.
Right.
If not in the leadership, certainly in the laity when you're talking about ignorance. We're going to start. I want to have this is a 2-minute video. Oh, okay, it's just odd. It's really just the pumpkin and the guy talking as a preacher in back. But it's kind of interesting to hear the vehemence behind the hatred for this holiday that never had any vehement hatred at all until, a couple decades ago. Let's give a listen.
We're doing a little series on Halloween. It's interesting that once a year, we as a culture face this peculiar holiday. And on the one hand, we are immersed in our culture with all kinds of pagan vestiges, the names of our weeks and virtually all the major holidays. Upon research, you'll unravel the fact that almost all of them go back at least to Rome and some of its rituals. Certainly most of them even go back to Babylon and so forth. And so there many of them may trouble the serious Christian, but none more than the peculiar holiday that we sort of dismiss in a childish way, Halloween. And yet the more we think about it, the more we explore it, the more sinister it becomes. It is not just a casual thing to shrug off casually. It is, in fact, a very, very serious holiday. And as Pat Matriciana has so colorfully pointed out, for a Christian to celebrate Halloween is like asking a Holocaust survivor to celebrate Hitler's birthday.
Okay. So
we're doing
for a Christian to celebrate Halloween, it's like asking a Holocaust survivor to celebrate Hitler's birthday. That is real vehement hatred right there. Spurred on by ignorance, spurred on by an us versus them, and I think spurred on by the fact that it has pagan roots and it has not been usurped. It is a non-Christian holiday, a non-Christian religious holiday, even though it's become secular.
Okay, if I may just take a second just to kind of explore this even in a more broader sense. One of the dangers of having, say, a theocracy, and in this case it would be, if it's going to happen, it would be a Christian theocracy, is that when the leaders of a certain religion have control of the government, they can go beyond manipulating you by word. They have the force of the government to do it. And the whole point of this kind of theology, this extreme kind of theology, is to keep people constantly off guard. Because you're never going to be enough. And I mean, I've said it before on this show and in my other show in New York, that it'll never be enough. You're always going to be. If you wake up one morning and find out that you're in a quote unquote Christian nation, I don't care how Christian you think you are, or devout, the shoe will definitely be on the other foot. If someone else the state is telling you how religious you must be.
Right.
The shoe will, not only will the shoe be on the other foot, it won't fit and you'll be forced to wear it anyway.
Well, yeah.
So, to bring it back to this is another means by which who is this guy anyway?
I don't even know.
This preacher keeps people off guard. It's something else to make people afraid and defensive, and it just strengthens their position. It's another way of keeping all their ducks in a row.
Is it also about denial, forcing the people to deny themselves something that they want? Because people like Halloween. It's a fun holiday.
Right, and if you make people, it's just like making people feel guilty about sex.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm
going. If you feel guilty about normal things like that and about having fun
and giving out candy,
right,
and putting on a costume,
and of course you're talking to people who may be adults, with children, but to some degree they've been infantilized with this superstition, so that you get people that are really worried, actually worried, grown-ups that are actually worried that spirits, might invade you know, that some kid's going to act out a satanic ritual as if that's going to make a difference to anything.
I have something that relates to that. I have something that relates to that. Our good friends at the Christian Broadcasting Network put out this really great article, and they took it down because it's so crazy. But fortunately, I was able to capture it and post it on my Facebook page. Not on the American Atheist Facebook page because they keep taking it down because we're non-profit. But my personal Facebook page is on there. Halloween, October 31st. This is from the Christian Broadcasting Network, written by Ms. Kimberly Daniels. The Danger of Celebrating Halloween. Ooh. October 31st is considered a holiday in the United States. In fact, it rivals Christmas with regard to how widely celebrated it is. Stores that sell only Halloween-related paraphernalia open up a few months before the day and close shortly after it ends. But is Halloween a holiday that Christians should be observing? The word holiday means holy day, but there is nothing holy about Halloween. The root word of Halloween is hallow, which means holy, consecrated, and set apart from service. If this holiday is hallowed, whose service is it set apart for? The answer to that question is very easy. Lucifer's. Lucifer is a part of the demonic Godhead. Remember, everything God has, the devil has the counterfeit. Halloween is a counterfeit holy day in that it is dedicated to celebrating the demonic trinity of the Luciferian spirit, the false father, the Antichrist spirit, the false Holy Spirit, and the spirit of the Belial, which is the false son. So the key word in discussing Halloween is dedicated. It is dedicated to darkness and is an accursed season. During Halloween, time-released curses are always loosed. This is on the Christian Broadcasting Network.
Time-released?
Time-released curses.
As opposed to in pill form.
Yeah, there's a little contact, with the little pills coming out of it. A time-released curse is a period that has been set aside to release demonic activity and to ensnare souls in great measure. Apparently, this person is, in fact, an adult. And she actually is, in fact, a legitimate writer on the Christian Broadcasting Network, which scares the heck out of me on one side, but it also makes me want to giggle. Because, yes. I mean, she's making half of this stuff up already. Halloween is an accursed season. Halloween is an evil season. Let's look at some good quotes, because this is not the only quote that we have. Why don't we put some other quotes up here? And, oh, look, we have a Pat Robertson quote. Okay. I think we ought to close Halloween down. Oh, actually, Pat Robertson. I tell you, all right. I think we ought to close Halloween down. Do you want your children to dress up as witches? The Druids used to dress up like this when they were doing human sacrifice. Human sacrifice. The children are acting out satanic rituals and participating in it, and they don't even realize it. The satanic ritual of eating candy. Don't eat candy. Candy is for Satan. Satan.
Well,
the devil. Pat Robertson. This is the guy who also said that God gave us the earthquake in Haiti.
And that he prayed away a hurricane from the coast of South Carolina.
Yeah, I love his reducing relevance. What do you have?
Well, I have here's another one. I don't know who this is from, but it's that same crowd, and it says, "You say we don't take it seriously, but the devil does, and so does God." You know, it's always these people that God works in strange and mysterious ways, and yet when they want to, they know exactly what's on God's mind.
Absolutely, what's on God's mind.
God is just this vast.
God hates Halloween. You know why? Because there's candy.
And he hates
candy's
bad. Jack-o'-lanterns. I don't know. I mean, and, it's always God is this vast, mysterious thing when they can't come up with any answer.
Fun and candy.
Yeah, but it's interesting how his will seems to coincide exactly with whatever particular religion is claiming.
Amazing.
And
Amazing
anyway,
how that works, isn't it?
Anyway, it says we don't take it seriously. You say we don't take it seriously, but the devil does, and so does God. Particularly, this is true when the church, which he purchased with his blood, builds haunted houses in its fellowship hall, so that the little lambs who have been entrusted to its care can be terrified and opened up to invading spirits of fear, torment, and confusion. How this must grieve the Lord.
Oh, my goodness. Of course, the Lord doesn't do anything about it with his all-powerful omniscience and his super magical abilities. He just lets it happen, and he sits there on Halloween, and he cries because the kids are eating candy, and he could stop it without lifting a finger.
You know what? You know what? It's
you have to give the church more money. You have to give the church more money because God needs you to give the church more money because it's Halloween. And Halloween is about candy and costumes and Lucifer and the devil.
You know what is? Humans think they're the center of the universe, and they think this crap would be important to an entity that could speak or think the universe into existence.
Hello.
I mean,
a billion galaxies, and God hates Halloween. God's mad about Halloween, how it must grieve the Lord that kids go out and have candy.
I was watching this. I don't know. This has to have been maybe 20 years ago. There was some television show, and it featured. They were interviewing this woman who claimed that she was. I don't know if she claimed she was possessed by a demon, but she was visited by a demon in her dreams, and then, of course, I think a lot of it had to do with how she kind of overcame it and prayed her way out of it, or whatever. It was one of those stories of personal triumph over evil and demon.
Fiction.
Yeah,
personal triumph over fiction.
But she says, and from what I remember, she said that this demon visited her and said to her, "Everything you know and everyone you love is an illusion. It's not real."
That's what the demon said to her.
That's what the demon said to her. Everything you know is a lie, and this woman, of course, was. I mean, it was some kind of hallucination. I think she was genuinely terrified. I think she believed it was real. Obviously, she believed it was real. But people don't seem to think of all the people in the world to completely screw up and terrify. Not the President of the United States.
Right.
Not the chairman of the Soviet Union at the time, not the heads of oil companies or banks, some woman living in Minnesota, in a neighborhood in Minnesota. So this one, this powerful evil spirit decides to go and terror.
Her.
Yeah.
She's special.
Like that's going to screw up everything.
She's important.
And they say, well, the devil likes to claim, everybody and all that stuff, but like that's going to be, and people, it's just ridiculous. It's all this. It's in some ways it's like humility. It's arrogance masquerading as humility.
This is, yeah.
You've got to think you're the center of the universe.
You really do, and you really have to stop thinking about it once you get there.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to stop thinking about it. You have to accept the fact that you're somehow more important, so important that these superhuman, invisible magic beings will target you and come get you and actually pay attention to you because you're important. And it of course makes you rich. Okay, let's get on this because this is all about money and power. Religion is all about money and power, and religion uses fear to make money and power, and they use a common enemy to make fear. Hitler did that against the Jews and made the Jews the big thing to fear, and everybody coalesced behind that.
Right.
That's the same thing. It's the same
people
analogy.
Off guard and dependent on you.
Mm-hmm.
But to follow it to its I hate to use the expression logical conclusions. Okay, so Satan takes over children. Then what? Okay, so now he's taken over children. Takes over every single child in the entire world.
Somehow that's
now,
bad.
So yeah.
God, being all-powerful, can undo it with a finger snap.
So he destroys the world through the children.
Yeah.
Okay, now what?
Yeah.
What has he gained? Why would?
Well, that's where you get into the whole Lucifer works in mysterious ways bit.
Right. Well,
okay?
it's that conflict between God and Lucifer, except that Lucifer, who's certainly a lot smarter than any clergyman who describes him.
Absolutely.
By definition. You would think.
By definition.
Okay. So if I'm an atheist, and if I know Lucifer's not going to win, duh. You would think Lucifer would know he's not going to win.
Hello? If God is all-powerful and Lucifer is not all-powerful, God wins if he wants to. That's the definition of what all-powerful means.
So
not all-powerful versus not all-powerful. All-powerful wins, hands down, without effort.
So
that's what all-powerful means.
So in the end, if he turns every single child into a pea soup spitting demon, so what? Well, I mean, from his point of view, now what? What does he do for Act 2?
All right, then he'll go to the beach and get some demon people.
Crack open a brewski, and you know. Well, look, in the book of Job, basically God and Lucifer or Satan had a bet. They were kind of like drinking buddies. You know?
Yeah.
They were hanging out and just.
Dude, what's what I could do to this guy?
What's this? You know, and who was worse? I mean, God's the one that had to prove something.
God is obviously. You know, that's what's one of the things that disturbs me most about the Old Testament is that God is such an evil, evil God. He's an evil, bad guy.
Right.
He's a malicious, bad character. I was just asked at a debate what I would do if I died and went to and met God, and I said that I would have some serious words with this ass. I don't think I actually used the word ass, and I won't use the word here because, you know, it's television, but. You know, we would have some serious words because this God, he's a bad guy.
Well, the main thing that's so disgusting and repulsive about God is he thinks he's God.
Yeah.
If you notice that it's like human beings expect God. Well, all the things that we detest about each other, we worship in God.
Yes.
And it's like. It's
torture.
Like,
oh, great God!
This terror, this great, you know.
Oh, intolerance, slavery.
It's like God is stupid. God does, you know, you're in a no-win situation where it doesn't matter what you do is wrong, and like you're actually worried that God's going to punish you because God is too stupid to figure this out himself.
Right.
God create, you know, it's not only okay, but it's mandatory to be an asshole if you're God.
That's the word I was trying not to say.
Well,
I don't know if we can say asshole on public television.
We can on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, where this part of the show is being shown.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. Well,
yes.
Let's hope they don't bleep that out because I'm not sure we can do that. But we'll find out when this tape goes out and doesn't get rejected.
Well, I think maybe they should try to bleep it out. It'll just emphasize it more.
I guess so.
You know, that kind of thing.
All right, so in conclusion, go to a Halloween party and have a good time because it's not religious and it's not anti-Christian and it certainly isn't of the devil. It's a fun, happy holiday that I like to celebrate and everybody else should as far as I'm concerned. And if you don't like it, send all your candy to me here at the Atheist Center. The website is www.atheists.org. And the email for the show is avtv@atheists.org. I want to thank you for joining us on the show today. I'm David Silverman.
Dennis Horvitz.
Thank you for joining us on Atheist Viewpoint, where reason reigns and reality rules.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
What you do in the name of your God.